In an earlier video, I talked about how college campuses are one of the places people go to experience walkable, relatively car-free environments, even if they live the rest of their lives in places that are extremely car-dependent. Well, today I'm going to dig deeper into that. It's the 10 most urbanist universities in North America, and it's coming up next. This is CityNerd, weekly content on cities and transportation, and shocking development. I've got the same cold or whatever that everyone else got over the holidays. It serves me right for hanging out with other humans. Anyway, bear with me. Viewer suggested topics, always welcome, and yeah, you guys delivered on this one. JFungs F882 wanted to know, now that we're back with the top 10s, I hope to see a top 10 most urbanist colleges and universities in the US with dishonorable mentions. More recently, I got this suggestion on Patreon. Say you were going to college, grad school, or considering a job at a US university, and were basing your decision on which university city had the best infrastructure, walkability, public transit, cycling, etc. What's your top 10? I feel like this video would get a ton of views. Top 10 college towns for car-free students. Well, this channel is firmly in the pro videos that get a lot of views camp, so I'm kind of excited about this one. So a little more discussion about what this list is and what it isn't. Just about every university campus is urbanist in the sense that it's walkable, relatively car-free, and has lots of people-oriented places. So this is not what I'm talking about. Instead, I wanted to know which universities are walkable and bikeable to a high-quality, legitimately urban environment, and have top-shelf transit service that'll get you around a great city. So here's the criteria I used, and I'm going to walk through it with the number 11 university on my list, which is Temple in Philadelphia. 1, walk score rating, and 2, bike score rating, which I gave half the weight of walk score. 3, I made a rating for freeway adjacency. A freeway running near or through campus is just a noisy, polluting traffic sewer in a place that should really be free of all those things. And then transit. This ends up being a very competitive list, and to even warrant consideration, you had to have rail transit within a quarter mile of campus, or even better, with stations right on campus. And I gave a higher rating for grade-separated heavy rail than I did for light rail. And I gave more weight to stations that are actually on campus. One more thing, school size. I cut this off at 15,000 full-time equivalent enrollment for fall of 2019, and I used size as a scoring criterion too. Partly because otherwise this would just be a list of like CUNY schools and community colleges in New York City, but also because, going back to my Patreon comment, if the idea is where should I be looking for a job or an enrollment slot, well, that's going to be a function of size too. So yeah, this list is going to err on the side of bigger schools. Okay, I gotta tell you, I had more trouble settling on criteria and a scoring system for this list than just about any I've ever done. And I have a feeling this is gonna be one of my more controversial top 10 lists, so come at me down in the comments. And with that, let's get into it. Number 10 is the University of Minnesota in the Twin Cities, right along the river near downtown Minneapolis, and has the Metro Green Line running right through the heart of it. Also, a bike score rating of 98. The campus does feature one of the truly great multimodal bridges in the US, the Washington Avenue Bridge, which carries the Green Line and does huge pedestrian and bicycle volumes. Number 9 is a university I wasn't even aware of the existence of. It's Toronto Metropolitan University. Seemed weird, so I looked it up, and they literally just changed the name in December 2022. It was Ryerson University before that, which I think I had at least vaguely heard of. Anyway, Toronto Met is really close in, very walkable and bikeable, with good access to both the subway and a couple of streetcar lines. Number 8 is one I did not expect, and it's Arizona State University in Tempe. I don't think I've had anything in Arizona on any top 10 list I've ever done, so let's talk a bit about Tempe, which in a lot of ways is more recognizably urban than Phoenix itself. Tempe has a higher density of rail service than Phoenix, with the light rail line running right through the ASU campus and the Tempe streetcar running along most of the perimeter, including Mill Avenue, which is a legitimately nice main street. And take this with a grain of salt if you want, but if I copy the address of a typical location on campus, I like to use the main library, I get a walk score of 83 and a bike score of 100. While we're in Tempe, let's check in on Cul-de-sac, purported to be the first car-free neighborhood built from scratch in the US. You can mock this all you want, but I find it borderline inspiring that some developer thought medium density development with zero parking would pencil out in Arizona, and I understand there's a lengthy wait list, so I don't know, draw your own conclusions. Number 7 is Northeastern University in Boston. Compact, urban campus, close into the city, but far away from the city's freeway system. Strong bike and walk scores and tons of transit. The E line runs right through the middle of campus, and there are 2 Orange Line stops right along the east edge of campus, with some MBTA commuter rail service too. Number 6 is the University of Washington in Seattle. Very bucolic for how close in it is to the city. Great bike access with the Burke-Gilman Trail running right through campus. Link station right on campus too, and that'll get you to downtown Seattle in 7 minutes. Also, Link station in the U District, which is probably going to be more convenient from the north end of campus. Also, bonus points for being right next to a lifestyle center. Actually, I didn't give any points for that, but it is funny. Number 5 is the University of California, extremely close into downtown Berkeley. So there's only the one BART station, but it's just a block off campus, and you can see from the street view why Cal gets such a strong walk score rating. Throw in Telegraph Avenue, and yeah, you've got a very urbanist, large public university campus. Not necessarily affordable, but let's not talk about that today. Number 4, let's head back north of the border, this time to the University of Quebec at Montreal. You know, I did look at McGill and the University of Montreal for this list, but walk score just really doesn't rate them. Anyway, I figure anytime you have a metro station on campus that's named after the university and serves 3 different lines, you're already way overperforming. Good walk score and bike scores too, which will happen when you have 2-way protected bike lanes everywhere. Number 3 is Columbia University in Morningside Heights, Manhattan. Great neighborhood, and the 116th Street station on the 1 line is right smack in the middle of campus. The B and the C are also pretty easily walkable, and you've got protected bike lanes on Amsterdam and Columbus to get you north-south to wherever it is you're going. Okay, I've got the top 2 and honorable mentions coming up, but first, quick reminder to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Lots of ways to get at me on socials, and the direct support on Patreon is always much appreciated. Honorable mentions, there are a lot of otherwise good urban campuses out there that have great walking and biking environments and good surrounding urban form, but no rail transit whatsoever. The University of Texas at Austin and the University of Wisconsin in Madison come to mind, but rail transit was a pass-fail for this, so no dice. I can't get walk or bike score ratings for Mexico, but I think the best of the bunch might be the University of Guadalajara. Let's drop down into Calzada Revolucion, where we've got an elevated station on Metro Line 3, a bike share station, and a protected bike lane. Soon, Guadalajara, soon. And I'm just gonna give you the next 5 on my list as honorables. At 12, I had the University of Southern California in LA. 13 was UIC, the University of Illinois at Chicago, which really got dinged by the proximity to a horrific interchange. 14 was Drexel in Philly, with the University of Pennsylvania not too far off either. 15 was Boston University, which also got docked for freeway malfeasance. And 16 was Portland State University. Really great urban university, but again, way more freeway than you want to see in an urban environment. Okay, if you're a serious university nerd, you will have guessed the top two. At number 2, I've got the University of Toronto. It's actually a bit less central than Toronto Met, but it is a lot bigger and the transit service is better. It's served by Line 1, which runs right through the heart of campus, and Line 2, which runs along the north side. Streetcar lines around the perimeter, pretty solid bike network, extremely walkable. You could definitely argue that this should be number 1, but you'd be incorrect. Because number 1 has to be New York University in Greenwich Village. It's right at the heart of what's probably the most useful heavy rail system in North America, although you could definitely make an argument for Mexico City. There aren't any subway stops on campus, really, but within a block or two, you've got the 1, the 2, the 4, the 6, A, B, C, D, E, F, M, N, Q, R, W, and 2 path lines. I mean, nothing else comes close. It's ridiculous. Lots of bike infrastructure and city bike stations, and it's Manhattan, so highest walk score rating on this list. And that's all I've got. Thanks for joining today, and thanks to the patrons for keeping channel operations solvent. I've got some fun stuff coming up in 2023, and I just couldn't do it without the direct support. Keep the great topic suggestions coming. I'll be back with a new installment next week, and I'll see you then.